Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Maisie figure, or whatever, so yeah. And right off the bat, I just want to say that, Fallen Kingdom, I don't know where I stand with Fallen Kingdom. There's one day I'll remember one scene that I really like, and then the other day I'll remember another thing that I really dislike about the movie. So, I don't know where I stand with Fallen Kingdom. All I know is that I didn't get the Blu-ray when it came out, and I don't plan on it, but, yeah. So Fallen Kingdom, I don't know how I feel about that movie. But, something I will say, there are some positives about that movie. First of all, of course, the first 5 minutes of that movie, I think, are great. That's something I've wanted in a Jurassic Park sequel for a really long time, and it's great that we actually got a scene like that. It's just, the rest of the movie that's kind of, not really the best. But something else I do like, I actually think that Maisie herself was actually a really likable character. Probably one of my favorite characters in the whole movie. Her acting was great, and, she was a good character. It's just a shame that, that whole plot twist kind of, made me dislike her. For spoiler purposes, I'm not really gonna, talk about what that twist is, but take my word for it, it is probably one of the dumbest things to come out of the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World franchise, so, yeah. But, besides the whole plot twist, Maisie, I think she's a fine character, so, yeah. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's just get into this. So, first, we'll take a look at this incredibly small T-Rex. I mean, this is probably the second smallest T-Rex I've ever seen. I say second because I remember when I was a kid, this toy store that was near where I lived called A to Z, they sold these really small animal figures that were done by Safari Limited. And they had a handful of dinosaurs, and of course they made a T-Rex. And the T-Rex there was a little smaller than this, but this is still really small. I mean, here it is next to my thumb. It's I could easily imagine a kid losing this. No question. This thing is just very small. So, yeah. Of course, this is just a solid brown piece. So, of course, the eyes aren't painted, which I'm not upset about in the slightest. Because, very small. So, the lack of paint, I can actually understand with this one. No articulation. This is just a little rubber T-Rex. So, yeah. The sculpting is good for the most part. The tail a little too short and the feet are a little too big, but other than that, the sculpting looks pretty fine. The detailing looks good too. A lot of creasing, a lot of, decent looking musculature for, the size of this thing. So, yeah. Honestly, this is very small, and, yeah. I don't really have a lot to say about this. This is just a very small T-Rex. So, yeah. Anyway, now we get this this T-Rex skull that's not really an accessory to this is more of a display piece, and for a display piece, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really digging this. I think it'd be really cool if we got more skeletons of the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, because I feel everything just looked in terms of the skeletons, I feel the dinosaurs look a lot different than their, scientifically accurate counterpart. And I feel something like this would be great, because, this is a T-Rex skull, obviously, and, this is not accurate by any means, but it looks a lot like the head of the Jurassic Park T-Rex. And yeah, I really like this. Of course, it actually has a bit of articulation, which is honestly really cool, so you could, pose it however you want. You could either do something like that, or just kind of what I usually do, just that. Though I'm not gonna lie, this actually looks kind of nice too. But, yeah, no, this skull is actually really nice. I like this a lot. Of course, obviously it's this yellowish, whitish color to give it that bony feel, which, again, looks nice. And, of course, the base itself is brown to kind of replicate wood. So, yeah. So even though this is more of a display piece, I gotta say, this is honestly very nice. And if we got more if we saw more stuff like this in the Jurassic Park franchise, I feel that'd be really cool. Just to see what the skeletons of all the dinosaurs look like, because they're modified, so it'd be really interesting to see the skull shape of a Dilophosaurus or whatever. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. This thing looks great, and I absolutely love it, so yeah. And that's where I'll stop there. Now for Maisie herself, and first we'll take a look at the painting on Maisie. And the painting on Maisie here is not bad. Not 1-to-1, but not bad. So going to her head here, we can see that her hair is painted like a very bright shade of orange, which is not at all how it looked in the movie. In the movie it was more brown. In fact, I don't even think she had a ponytail in the movie, but yeah. The painting here, not accurate, but it doesn't look awful. I mean, it kind of does, but it's not the end of the world. The painting on the face looks great, no defects or anything like that. Everything here looks very clean. Of course, she is wearing this red sweater, which is painted red, which looks nice, and the shirt underneath is painted nicely as well. Her pants are painted blue, and her shoes are painted black with bits of white. And that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. And the painting on this figure, it's not the worst thing as far as, the Jurassic World toy line goes. The painting here is not awful, but comparing it to like other things I've seen, it's not necessarily great either. So the painting on this figure, I'd say it gets 3/4 of a pass. It's not great, but considering, it's from the Jurassic World toy line by Mattel, it's not bad. So the painting here gets 3/4 of a pass. Now take a look at the articulation, and the articulation on this figure is a little limited compared to other Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom figures, but that's to be expected because this figure is actually very small. So she does have a ball joint on the head, but it's very limited, so she can only look in certain directions, and it's very tight for some reason. I don't know why. But basically the arms can move 360 and move outwards. No bend in the elbow, but that's understandable because, again, this is a very small figure. So, yeah. No waist swivel either. The figure can kick that much and kind of kick backwards that much. It can do the splits. And we do have a bend at the knees. So, there's always that. And that's pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. Again, it's pretty limited compared to the other Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom human figures, but, this is small, so, again, it's understandable. So, the articulation, I'd say, again, gets 3/4 of a pass. Now we'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure is good. Really quick, let's take a look at the head sculpt. It's not necessarily accurate by any means. It does not look a lot like the actor who played Maisie in the movie, but, it doesn't look awful either. Again, this is mainly due to the paint, but as you can see there, a lot of, actually let me try to adjust this so you can see better. A lot of weird defects going on with the paint, but to be honest, Claire kind of suffered from that as well. So, yeah. Other than that, the sculpting here is not the worst, so the sculpting here is fine, so again, I'd say it gets 3/4 of a pass. Now I'll take a look at the detailing, and the detailing here, just like with Claire, there's not a lot going on. Of course, the hair doesn't look the best, but it looks fine. Again, these weird, little, weird markings going on her head, that looks kind of weird. The detailing in her sweater looks alright. Nothing here is really too well defined, but again, it looks alright. And the shirt underneath, again, detailed alright. The pants are detailed pretty nicely. Of course, we get all of the creases and wrinkles throughout, which does look nice. And the shoes, they don't look great, but they're not awful either. So, yeah. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the detailing on this figure. And the detailing on this figure isn't the best, but it's not the worst. It's actually, I'd say it's a little less than Claire's detailing, but either way, the detailing is still fine. Not the best, so I'd say it gets a half a pass. So, yeah. Anyway, at the end of the day, should you get this? Honestly, this is not a bad figure at all. It's smaller, so, there's not going to be a lot to it, but for what it is, it's not bad. Though I will say this, if you do want it, if you buy it in stores, it should only cost, I think $7 or $8, which is honestly not bad at all, but if you do want, if you, really want this figure, oh, sorry, let me just kind of, make that a little more centered. But yeah, no, if you do really want this figure, then I'd say, keep looking in stores. Don't get this online because the prices are going to be jacked up. Like, people probably will sell this for like 20 bucks, which is kind of ridiculous. And I do believe the Jurassic World or Jurassic Park Universal Studios gift shop, they do sell all the human figures here, but like, the prices are jacked up there too. So if you want this, I'd say keep looking in stores, at least as of me recording this. Every time I walk into my local Target, they do actually have some human figures, so I'd say keep looking in Target, because it definitely is possible to find some. At least my Target has them, but like, yeah. This figure, it's not awful, but it's not the worst thing ever. It's fine, but not my favorite human figure, at least in the Fallen Kingdom line, so yeah. Anyway, if you want to know how big she is, then here she is next to Dr. Billy Grant. Alright, now that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.